Hello students, hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to start a new unit, that is unit number 3, and we are going to discuss the 2 marks questions. And the weightage of 2 marks from unit number 3 is 2 plus 2. That means in your IPE exam you are going to get 2 questions from unit number 3. And how many we need to prepare? Only 6 definitions. And these definitions are very short as well as very easy to learn. So if we prepare 6 definitions, then we can attempt 2 questions in our very short in the IPE examinations. So let us go with the first question, that is national income. So this definition already we have read in our first year intermediate. Like, what is national income? So it is the total market value. It is the total market value of all goods and services, produced in a country during a given period of time. So we need to by heart this definition as it is. It is very easy. Just you need to remember, it's the total market value. It is which value? Total market value of all which goods and services? Final goods and services of all. You can either write final, or if you don't write final also, no problem. So it is the total market value of all goods and services produced in a country during a given period of time. If I want to measure a country's national income, I need to find out how many goods and services are produced in that country during a given period of time. Then I can calculate the national income of that so and so country. So what is the definition of national income? It is the total market value. It is the total market value of all goods and services, produced in a country during a given period of time. So the first one is done. Let us start the second one. Poverty gap. What do you mean by poverty gap, and how do you measure or how do you calculate poverty gap? So the formula for poverty gap is poverty line minus average consumption expenditure of poor. Poverty line minus average consumption expenditure of poor whole divided by poverty line means how much we are spending money on our consumption. Consumption means you already know. On our day-to-day expenses of food, how much we are spending, that is nothing but consumption. Expenditure is nothing but you are spending money. Average consumption expenditure of poor means poor persons, how much they are spending money on their food, that is consumption. So average consumption expenditure of poor. Is that clear? So poverty line minus average consumption expenditure of poor whole divided by poverty line. Poverty line, there is a particular line which shows whether the persons come under average or poor or below poor category. So while measuring poverty gap, we need to keep poverty line also as a reference. So poverty line minus average consumption expenditure of poor whole divided by poverty line. Focus here, poverty line is there in numerator and poverty line is there in denominator also. And one more small formula for this is Z minus Y by Z. Is that clear? Z indicates poverty line and Y indicates average consumption expenditure of poor. So finally, what is the formula for poverty gap? Poverty gap is equals to poverty line minus average consumption expenditure of poor whole divided by, again, poverty line, or you can write it as Z minus Y by Z. Let us see the third question, that is unemployment. What is the third question? Unemployment. Employment means availability of jobs. Am I right? So unemployment means no job facilities in simple terms. But let us see the exact definition. Unemployment refers to a situation. What is unemployment? It refers to a situation where all those who are willing and able to do work are unable to find employment opportunities. For example, now I like teaching, so I am willing to work and I am able to work, means I have the capacity and I have the willingness. So even though I have willingness and ability, if I am unable to find a job, then I come under unemployed. Is that clear? So all those persons who are willing and who are able to do work are unable. The important word here is unable, or unable to find employment opportunities, that is termed as unemployment. Willing to do work, able to do work, but are unable to find job opportunities or employment opportunities. So national income, poverty gap and unemployment is done. Let us see with the fourth question, that is poverty line. So what is poverty line? It is the midpoint. It is the midpoint of monthly per capita expenditure. Monthly per capita expenditure of a class having daily calorie intake of 2,400 per person in rural areas and 2,100 in urban areas. For example, if I draw a line and if I keep a dot over here, then this is called the midpoint. Am I right? So poverty line is also a midpoint. A midpoint of what? Monthly per capita expenditure, means how much people are spending money. Per capita means per every person or each and every person, that is nothing but per capita. So monthly per capita expenditure of daily calorie means how much calories we are spending money, that is 2,400 we are spending on rural areas and 2,100 we are spending in urban areas. This is the daily calorie intake. This is the daily calorie intake of persons in rural areas and in urban areas. So it is the midpoint of monthly per capita expenditure of the daily calorie intake of 2,400 in rural areas and 2,100 in urban areas. If we by heart each point for at least 10 times, I'm sure that you will be perfect in this definition. The fifth one, seasonal unemployment. The word itself is saying depending upon the seasons you have job, and when the season is gone you are lost from your job. That means you do not find your job anymore because it is dependent on season. This is mainly related with agricultural sector, as we have three sector: agriculture, industry and service. From these three, seasonal unemployment is related with agriculture sector. Just fix in your brains that seasonal unemployment is related with which sector? Agricultural sector. So laborers find employment only for 7 to 8 months. For how many months? 7 to 8 months. And in the remaining period, they remain unemployed. As you know that we have 12 months in a year. If a laborer gets work from only 7 to 8 months, then what about the remaining period? He or she will be remained unemployed. Such kind of unemployment is termed as seasonal unemployment. And the last and final definition of unit number 3 is per capita income. The most easiest definition, what is per capita income? It refers to average income of a person. Means how much a person is earning, how much is his income. So what is per capita income? It is the average income of a person, and it shows the standard of living of a person or a country. If we calculate per capita income, we'll get to know the standard of living. If you have good per capita income, then your standard of living will also be high, and if your per capita income is less, your standard of living will also be less. So per capita income helps in attaining or helps in determining the standard of living. Now how to calculate per capita income? So per capita income is equals to national income by population. If you divide national income by population, you will get PCI, that is per capita income. Hope all these 6 definitions were clear enough for you to understand. Please note it down in your books, practice it for 5 times and read it for 10 times until you are perfect. So in your next classes, we'll come with 4th unit important questions. Till that, stay healthy, stay safe and always keep practicing.